Hi folks, welcome to the Prepared Homestead. This is Travis. Thank you all for stopping by to watch. Been taking advantage of a pretty nice late summer day. It's warm, but it's not like it's been. I'm trying to get some outside work done, doing lots of mowing, weed eating, that kind of stuff. This morning, after I did my video this morning, my little walking video, and if you haven't watched that, you probably should, I stumbled upon these. A pretty good mess of chanterelle mushrooms, and so it made for a nice breakfast this morning and for future meals also. So this is what we're talking about, of getting out there and learning what grows around you that's edible, because there's lots of food that just grows in nature. I mean, food doesn't just come from the grocery store. You can find it out in the wild. And this, I'm telling you, these chanterelles, they're a very nice treat. They're probably my favorite. I know most people like morels, and I do like morels, but I think I might like chanterelles a little bit better. So I was very excited to find a bunch of those, and I think in the morning I'm going to go hunting again and see if I can find some more. A lot of news today, and we're hearing that things are pretty good. Things are getting a lot better. I mean, the inflation rate has come down. It's amazing. I mean, that Inflation Reduction Act, it did a good job. I mean, in just a few days, not even, it's just been a couple of days. We're already seeing inflation drop. They've said that it's come down from 9.1 to 8.5%. And of course, we're hearing, all the pundits and stuff brag about it, that their policies are working. Not the policies that got us to the high inflation, but the policies to reduce that inflation. It's working. I mean, you should be thankful that now you're only having to pay 8.5%. Kind of like when gas prices have come down. We should all celebrate that now we're only paying, $3.75, $3.80 a gallon. We should celebrate that. We should just jump for joy that I'm, only putting, that much in my tank and only paying that much for the gas that I put in my tank. Only, $3.75, $3.80, $3.60, whatever you're paying. This is their little manipulation that they do. The things that I've been talking about of the being mentally prepared for the psychological manipulation that they're going to put on us. Now, getting to this inflation rate, number one, it's all a bunch of baloney, okay? And the 9.1% that they told us last month, which is, everyone was talking about, how high it is. It's all baloney. Actual inflation is probably somewhere, and this is conservative, somewhere between 18 and 25%. And many people think it's well over 30%, and it is in some areas. Certainly some foods and certain products are well over 30% inflated over last year. This number that they throw out, it's just a made-up number that they came up with back in the late 80s and early 90s to try to make themselves look pretty good. When they say, inflation is only 2 or 3%, well, it's really more like probably 5 or 8%. And so this is their what they've been telling everyone. And in fact, it's actually better than 8.5%, because the president himself says that inflation is zero. I want you to watch this clip here. This is, just watch this.
Actually, I just want to say a number. 0. Today, we received news that our economy had 0% inflation in the month of July.
We should be excited that inflation is zero. There's no inflation. We don't have inflation anymore. It just poof, it went away like that, and there's no inflation, and so everyone just go back to business as usual. And this is what they want you to do. They want you to just forget about it, okay? Just don't pay any attention to it. This is the new normal. They've been telling us now for over a year that we're going to have a new normal. We're not going back to the old normal, the old normal in 2018, 2016, 2010, 2000, 1990. We're not going to go back to those normals. Okay, this is a new normal that they have worked really hard on developing and creating. So you should appreciate all the hard work that they have put into it, going back, well into the Obama administration and really before then, of creating this new normal that's happening right now. So it is normal. It's just not the normal that you think. They've redefined that term also, along with many other terms that are being redefined. It seems like almost every day, or at least every week, there's some new term that's being redefined. Because, we've got to change our language, and we've got to change our history, and got to change everything, like Michelle Obama said many years ago.
We're going to have to change our conversation. We're going to have to change our traditions, our history. We're going to have to move into a different place as a nation to provide the kind of future that we all want.
And that's what we're seeing happen. Don't fall for this, folks. Number one, the inflation, what the actual numbers, regardless of what the numbers are, it's not uncommon for them to come down just a little bit, especially in the summertime. At the end of the summer, most people have done with their vacations. Most people are done with most of their spending. In a normal year, and especially with this year, with things going up, people are spending less. And there was, a bunch of oil released. The Strategic Oil Reserve was released. And so it's possible that brought down gas prices just a little bit. And so that's why we're seeing this. But it's going to get worse. Goldman Sachs is saying that they predict that gas prices are going to go back up soon, because oil supplies are running really low, and they just don't think they can put out enough for what the American people want, and what the world needs. So we're going to see the gas prices go back up soon, I would say, based on what Goldman Sachs says, and they know more than I do, I would say, about things. Don't fall for it, folks. Understand that this is part of their ploy to manipulate us. We have to keep focused on our goal, and our goal is to be self-sufficient. Our goal is to be prepared to endure to the end. And that's what we have to keep focused on doing. There is so much happening right now, and I personally feel that there's a whole lot happening that you and I have no clue that's going on, because there's so much happening to keep us attentive to certain things. We focus on Taiwan and Pelosi and China and Russia and Ukraine and Trump and all these things that are happening. I think that we're probably in the midst of them doing their thing behind the scenes to really start taking over. And whatever that is, I don't know. And I don't think most people do know. I mean, we can guess, we can speculate, but I would say that's why we're seeing all this stuff happening. And I know a lot of you still want to talk about the whole Trump thing, and let me just give you my opinion on this. I don't know what's really going on with that, but I have a good feeling, and I've seen others say the same thing, that they're probably wanting to push us into something. I think they're wanting the conservative right. They're trying to poke the bear. They thought that January 6th was going to be enough, and that they were going to be able to ride on that coattails for a while, and I don't think the American people care anymore. So I think they're trying to instigate something else. They want to get us to come out of the cobwebs and the dark corners and out of hiding. I think that's why just a week ago we saw this release of the FBI document, saying that these are, potential terrorist threats, domestic terrorists, anyone that flies these patriotic flags. And so I think it's part of a pattern there that they're trying to get things going. The fact is, folks, is that we know that things have to be happening behind the scenes. There's too much chatter, too much flack being thrown out there. Okay, they don't do that for no reason whatsoever. We know that things are happening, and we know that we have to get prepared and continue stocking up, continue getting our families and our communities in order. I spoke this morning and talking about leadership in a lot of ways, even though that wasn't the specific topic. You need to be a leader in your home, in your community, whatever your circles are. People are going to be coming to you at some point and asking you advice on what to do. And whether or not you're willing to give that advice, that's your opinion and your choice. But I'm telling you, it's time to be leaders in our areas and in our communities. And if you're involved in a type of prepping community, homesteading community, something like that, it's time to step up in leadership and show people what they need to be doing. And some of you are just getting started, and some of you are advanced masters and have done this for years. But you all have something to contribute, because the world that's, kind of in a tailspin right now, and it's time that folks like us come together, work on our communities, work on our own personal preps, work on our spiritual preparedness because of this, spiritual warfare that's going on, and the psychological preparedness because of the psychological warfare that's going on, and build relationships and communities with each other, because that is really important. This inflation stuff that's happening, it's way worse than they're telling us. You know it is. You know it is because you go to the store and you see the prices. I mean, just this week, Tyson was saying that they're going to raise their prices 20% on their chicken. I was talking about that either this morning or yesterday. We're seeing that in other areas of the economy where there's announcements and we're being told and we're seeing movement that things are getting more expensive. So don't buy this manipulated, talking points of, things are getting a little bit better. We've peaked. Inflation's peaked. And the recession, see, I told you there wasn't a recession. It just kind of happened at the wrong time. There's not a recession. Inflation's peaked. And by Christmas, wow, things are going to be so normal, you won't even remember all this. Well, that's not true, folks. That's what they want you to believe it, because every time they do that, it buys them a little bit more time. And then the next time things get bad, they'll have some other excuse. They'll have some other story to calm you down just enough so that they can move the goalpost a little bit further along. Get your houses in order, folks. Prepare yourselves mentally, physically, and spiritually. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.